My name is Jessica Puentes. I am a soldier. I've been in the military for about 10 and a half years of total service. It's actually been 12 years since I joined, but I took some time off to do the stay-at-home mom thing. I also have a background in lactation education and, well, lactation counseling and doula work, as well as childbirth education. And so these components of who I am have really shaped my adult life, and obviously being in the military is a huge influence in a person's life, but motherhood is something that many of us women, most of us women go through, and that really shapes how we view things and how we approach things. As moms, our mental checklist is endless. Our mental checklist has countless things on it, and we're always tracking what our kids are doing, what they eat, their activities, their screen time, and so on. And so it just makes me want to stop and take a deep breath. Maybe we can do it together. Okay, are you ready? Close your eyes. Are you closing them? Did you close them? And take a deep breath. Ready? Let's do it. Did that feel good? Okay, now we're ready to talk about what I'm really here for, and that is to tell you the top 10 ways to live naturally as a busy mom, or a working mom, or a career woman, or all of the above, an entrepreneur, Miss Everything, a goddess, because that is what you are. Now, the first tip that I'm going to give you is not anything that can be measured. It's not tangible per se, it's not concrete. However, it's something that I have to remind myself constantly. So as I'm telling you this, I'm reminding myself at the same time. Be balanced. That is to say that we are not all living on a farm somewhere. If you do, I'm jealous. You got room for more? But most of us live in a house, a condo, an apartment, wherever. We don't have access to fresh X, Y, and Z, right? So with all that being said, be graceful with yourself. Give yourself honor, because we all need to understand that we do the best we can with what we have and what we know. We are all trying here. And so my expectation and or my message is not to be supreme, crunchy mom that's unreasonable for some people. Have we been to the Wendy's drive-thru? We sure have. Does that mean that it's catastrophic and I'm a terrible mom? Absolutely not. If you're busy and you do what you gotta do, give yourself grace, keep it moving. Maybe the next day you'll have something super fantastic and healthy to eat. Keep it moving. There's no sense in dwelling on, oh my gosh, I made a mistake. We have balance. This is not for the super duper crunchy moms. This is for like just anyone. And so we honor ourselves where we are. That's number one. Number two is to drink water. You can see that I have here my water bottle. I take this with me often, even if I don't bring it out, it's in the car. I even take it when I go out to dance or to work or what have you. And I refill it at work as well. I'm just really adamant about hydration, and a lot of times kids don't want to drink water, but if you make it habitual and you have water bottles available, it's kind of easier to remember. Again, I'm going to talk a lot about like family culture and what is the norm in your house and what is the norm with your kids, and how what we do is observed by them, and then their behavior reflects that. So BPA-free water bottles are pretty common now. They're available in most stores or online, of course. So hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Just like in the military, they always say, drink water. Do it. It's good for you, right? We know this. It's good for the skin, I think. Tip number 3, coconut oil. just slather your whole life, just everything coconut oil. I know that some people don't like to cook with it, and I know there's a little bit of a conversation about how healthy it is. However, even if you don't use coconut oil, you can try olive oil, you can try avocado oil. There's different alternatives as opposed to just canola oil or, you know, lard, I guess. And so that's something to get the mind focused on. What choices do I make, and how can I improve on that? Like, how do I make a better version of what I'm currently doing? And the coconut oil is something that I really like to use. I also use it for moisturizing my hair, my skin, just from A to Z, my daughter's hair, my son's hair, just everybody, just cover yourselves in coconut oil. Okay, you got it? Tip number 4, try HelloFresh or Blue Apron. I really should get paid for this because this is like low-key a commercial. But the reason why I bring that up is because we started using it maybe about a year ago in our home, my partner and I, and we noticed that it takes away the guesswork of what's for dinner. What are we going to make? Did you cook? Is it your turn to cook? Did I cook? And so it's just easy. And let me frame it to you this way. We have a family of 4. The boxes come with the option, well, you can go on the website and you have the option of doing either 2 meals, or 2 servings rather, or 4 servings, depending on how many people you are feeding. With that being said, you get 3 meals for 2 to 4 servings, and it comes with instructions. It comes with all the ingredients that you need. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because it has saved us time and money, and it gives us a variety of things to eat. If I don't feel like cooking and I decide to order a pizza, I may spend about $40. I might spend more depending on if we get 2 pizzas, depending on if we get additional toppings, depending on if we get maybe some chicken wings. I have my weaknesses. I love some chicken wings. And maybe you'll get some garlic bread. And so with all that being said, you will have spent maybe $40, maybe more. Now, let's say 1 or 2 nights later, I don't feel like cooking, and, we're all kind of just like in a slump, and we decide that we want to order some Chinese food. Maybe we get some fried rice, maybe we get some chicken and broccoli, maybe we get some beef and vegetables, maybe we get some crab rangoon, because crab rangoon is everything. I don't like crab rangoon, said no one ever. And so when you add that all up, you're looking at another $40 or more. That's about $80, maybe $90 that you spent on 2 nights worth of food, pizza, Chinese takeout. Now, by the time you order a meal box delivery service, that's $80, $60 to $80 per week. And they have a lot of promos and coupons, and so that's something to look into. I think that's really important, just because it takes the guesswork out of dinner, and it takes the time, because even if I order food, it takes 40 minutes to get here. If it takes 40 minutes to cook, then aren't I waiting for the same amount of time? And this way I know what's going into my food. You don't have to do that, of course, but it's a healthier option, and it's worth trying, and it kind of broadens the family's horizons a bit. Tip number 5. This is all of the things that go into the grocery store trip. So just being mindful of grocery shopping. The first piece of advice that kind of is falling under the umbrella of tip number 5 is to bring toys or snacks to the grocery store. This was a tip that I heard a long time ago, and I was like, yes, that's such a good idea. Because kids get hungry, kids get tired, kids get distracted, kids get cranky. We've all had to drag our child out of the store surfboard style at some point or another. And so with that being said, it's really important that we are mindful of our grocery trips and making sure that we're ready. And also to time it either far enough in advance before a nap or after a nap, so that you're also not faced with that meltdown decision and it can feel really tense and overwhelming when you're in the store and you know that that child is a ticking time bomb. So just having toys or snacks available, a water bottle or a sippy cup, whoo, kind of eases it. It's easy. And then that leads into the next piece or subtopic within tip 5. Take the time to read the ingredients. Nutrition facts are important, so read the label. I look for the grams of protein, grams of carbs, grams of fat. I make sure that each component of a healthy diet, or the macronutrients and vitamins and minerals as well, are components of what I'm buying, so that they ultimately become the components of what's on the plate once I'm cooking and once I'm making food at home. And so those are the things that I'm looking for more of. The things that I'm looking to avoid completely or eliminate are additives, dyes, preservatives, as much as possible. Most things have some kind of preservative, but again, this is more along the lines of just trying to make a better choice and understanding that there are healthier options. So there's additives, dyes, high fructose corn syrup, sucralose, invert sugars. Rewind that if you need to. I try to avoid those. I don't want my children eating that, just because I know that it has adverse effects on their development and their concentration. We see a lot of children that have ADHD, and I know quite a few moms that have really shifted their children's diets and have seen less of these issues, especially when it comes to behavior and inattention. So simple ingredients, that's really what we're looking for. And also implementing fruits and vegetables, making sure that you buy plenty. So we have right now we have kiwi, we have banana, we have apples, we have broccoli, we have cauliflower. I think we have spinach. I don't know if we're out. Spinach is tricky though, because you might want to buy it frozen, because it can wilt and go bad. But if you use it, then it won't go bad, obviously. You don't have to break the bank to get all this stuff. But ultimately the point is that what's available in the house becomes the norm. What's in your pantry is when your kids go into the pantry and they're looking for something to eat, that's what's available. It's a healthier option. Just like, for example, I have here these duck crackers. I know it's funny, right? But it takes the place of the goldfish, and so it's got more natural ingredients. I mean, it's still an extensive ingredient list, but at the same time, it doesn't have the corn syrup and it doesn't have some of the other stuff. I can see here that they really tried. They really tried to use substitutes for some of the more common things that cause problems. And so 2 grams of protein, not great. 20 grams of carbohydrates, 0 grams of sugar. That's what I'm talking about. So none of the corn syrup in here. And the thing is that sometimes we even buy Ritz crackers, but I don't want to, this is something I don't want to buy more of, because where is the label? There it is. High fructose corn syrup, unbleached enriched flour. That's not ideal either, because it's processed flour, but I understand that it's like the Ezekiel bread, the sprouted grain vegan bread. I know that that's not available to everyone, given if you're within a certain budget constraint. However, if you can find something that doesn't have high fructose corn syrup, sometimes you can find some store brand stuff that's like the organic duck crackers that are comparable to the name brand, but they're store brand, but they're organic. And that kind of helps you find your path of, okay, do I want to spend a little bit more or a little bit less, or maybe I should get organic of this kind of thing and maybe not this kind of thing. It's all about balance and moderation, and this is for the real life mom that's maybe on a budget. Maybe you're a single parent, you have one income, maybe you're a stay-at-home parent and your partner is the one that's bringing in the income, and you are working together on how to optimize what you can purchase. So there's all different walks, and we all have to find our way. But my main point here is that we're the gatekeepers of the food that comes into the house, and to be mindful when you're at the grocery store, because that's where it begins. Number 6. We're up to tip number 6 now. So try to say that 5 times fast, right? I like this new tradition that I've come up with. It involves getting some fruit, chopping it up, and putting it in cups and topping it with whipped cream for birthdays and special occasions. I really like this idea. It's a tradition that I started when my son Marcelo turned 1, and now he will be 9 in July. Yes, shed tears on that because time flies. And it's something that I did because I wanted an alternative to sweets. I wanted an alternative to the processed desserts that are out there, and I wanted to take charge of that. I like to be in charge of myself and my body and what my kids eat in my home. And that was one of the things that I came up with. And I'm thankful to God and the universe for that idea. And if you don't want to do fruit, you can always look into maybe like a vegan alternative, or just a homemade baked good is better than something from the store. So maybe that's something you can do with your partner or with your kids or whoever's there, your sister, your mom, your auntie, whoever. I love that it's something that is still sweet and still satisfying, but less of the kids bouncing off the walls. Because I sit back and I look at how many holidays we have in a year, and all of our family members, kids, friends, cousins, siblings, everyone has a birthday, and that's sprinkled throughout the year. On top of Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween. I said Thanksgiving already, right? Right? Just all of the holidays and all of these instances or occasions in which, oh, it's harmless. The kids, they have sugar, it's no big deal. But when you really look at all the occasions, that starts to add up. And that's what I was concerned about. I don't want somebody to give my baby sugar and have them buzzing all over the place, and then I gotta come home and this child is hyper and bouncing off the walls, and I don't want to deal with that. And I wouldn't want to give that to another parent either. Like, here you go. Here's your sugar crazed, hyper, whatever. So just try the fruit. So tip number 7. I strongly encourage and recommend to make time to walk as a family. Actually, my family's waiting on me as I do this because we're getting ready to go for a nice hike/walk. Obviously, I'm not going to wear this, but I thought I'd dress up for you, So make time to walk, make time to do an activity. Even if you don't have time to lace up your sneakers and you're busy and you're tired from work or from working from home, you can still put on a yoga video and do yoga with the kids. One of the things that I did with Marcelo was a hip-hop workout. I let him pick out a workout video. It was a hip-hop choreography. I couldn't keep up because choreography is not my strong suit. But we had fun, and our bodies were moving. The whole point is to move. A body in motion stays in motion. A very wise, wonderful woman once told me that, and I always keep that with me. And I, again, try to implement that when it comes to my kids because they learn from me. Tip number 8. Introduce vegetables as early as possible. I know I talked about actually purchasing fruits and vegetables at the grocery store. This is, however, more focused on vegetables because a lot of people might eat fruit and be okay with that, but will not eat vegetables. They avoid it. It's almost like they have an aversion because somewhere down the line we were told that Brussels sprouts are icky. Have you had roasted Brussels sprouts? They're amazing. But the point is to introduce vegetables as early as you can. And the reason why is because they get a taste. Kids, babies, they get a taste of that. So even as far back as pregnancy, you should be eating healthy. Ideally, again, Wendy's drive-thru, not the end of the world, not a catastrophe, it's fine. The next step is even when you're breastfeeding or so either through amniotic fluid or breast milk, babies can taste the food that's going to be in their realm, in their world. And they'll get an affinity for that. The other piece of that is, I keep saying the other piece of that, don't I? Other component, other consideration is to steam the vegetables. Like you can just boil them or steam them and soften them so the kids can eat them, or for small babies who are just starting to be introduced to solids. You can also try frozen veggies that helps with teething. We love that. And also look into baby-led weaning. I highly encourage that you research that. And if you have older children and maybe vegetables haven't been part of your journey, it's not too late. And one of the things that my son came up with that was a really neat idea was to have a vegetable eating competition. So we just basically did a food journal for 1 or 2 weeks, and whoever had the most veggies on their daily log got a prize at the end. I don't even remember what Marcelo got out of it, because obviously my son ended up winning. I think he ended up tracking it much better than the adults did. And Penelope, well, she can't write anything down yet. So he ended up winning. I don't even remember what he got. I think he got a Beyblade, a toy from it. But the point is that it got us talking and thinking about eating vegetables. So even after that week-long or 2-week-long competition within your home, long after, the effect is lasting. And so, oh, I should put more broccoli on my plate. Yes, please, I'll have another serving of Brussels sprouts, etc. And and it works because my kids eat carrots, they eat cauliflower, they eat broccoli, they eat spinach. No, I'm not perfect. And remember in the beginning I said that we've been to the Wendy's drive-thru. However, it's a matter of making it normal, creating a norm. Number 9, it's simple. It's okay to be simple. It's okay to buy things that are cheap. Ta-da! Little thing about me. I'm Latina. Hi, I'm Latina. Yes, Latinx, Cuban American. So this is my stuff right here. And so beans can cost as little as, like, I've seen it as low as 49 cents a can. Watch out for this though, because sometimes they have additives in here. So this is just frijoles negros, agua y sal. Black beans, water, and salt. But you can't go wrong with this because it's got protein. And if you mash it up and mix it up with some egg and some seasoning, then you get some good black bean burgers, and it's just a win-win. So simple items. And even this right here, this is like a vegan chickpea pasta something or other, and it's an alternative to the other box stuff. I use that because I think that it's like a healthy twist on an American classic, right? If you don't love mac and cheese, I really don't know what you're doing. Like I just don't. Tip number 10. Involve your kids in cooking. Involve your kids in the kitchen. My son is almost 9, as I mentioned before, and he's been in the kitchen with me since he was a toddler. I would teach him how to chop things up and even have him stand on a chair and stand. And I know a lot of moms do this, and some people, your grannies brought you up doing this, and your moms. And so let's keep that going, because so much love and so many memories are made in the kitchen. And when you're cooking and you're making food for your family, it's just a memory, and you're also inadvertently showing them how to make choices. From the grocery store to your kitchen, it's all about the choices that we make. And so my prayer, my thought, my hope, my belief is that it empowers kids so that later on they can be independent adults that know what healthy eating and healthy cooking looks like, tastes like, feels like, etc. For example, when I say feels like, I'll say this. When I eat certain things, I feel like I'm in a slump. I feel lethargic. I don't feel energetic at all. I know that when I eat sweets, it might taste good and it might like satiate my appetite temporarily, but I'm really overall feeling slow and heavy. But when I eat vegetables, I feel good. I feel energetic. I feel light. I feel like I can take on the world. So just getting your kids involved and sharing that feeling and sharing that empowerment with them is really going to make a difference. Now my bonus is to check out natural remedies. So I gave you 11. It's 11. You got 11, right? So check out natural remedies whenever and if ever available and applicable. Make sure you talk to a healthcare provider or an expert or someone who is well versed. I know that we can all go down the rabbit hole of Googling things and arguing on Facebook, but but it's really important that maybe instead of traditional or Western medicine, that maybe you talk to a doctor who may specialize in osteopathic medicine. I had a doctor who recommended a remedy for a health problem that I had, and taking that natural remedy helped, and it was an alternative to taking medication and then having to depend on that medication for a whole lifetime. And so another thing that I use is Arnicare Gel. I use that for my children. It is derived from Arnica montana flower, and that's a natural anti-inflammatory. It helps with bumps and bruises, and you just slather it on there, or it comes in a tablet form. Just knowing that there are different alternatives, and there's a huge conversation, I want to say, about essential oils. I'm not big on essential oils, but I understand that, for example, lavender essential oil helps with like sleep issues and things of that nature, or has a calming effect. And so there needs to be more research about the efficacy of these essential oils, definitely. And I understand that in some medical conditions it does not take the place of actually taking medicine or being treated, etc., but it can provide a solid alternative for some ailments and some issues that you may have. Just do the research for yourself, see what you find. I think from 1 to 10 to your bonus advice or information, what we're looking at here is empowerment and consent and information. We are in charge. We are the gatekeepers, and just keep that in mind. Finally, I just want to say thank you for listening, and you are what you eat. So give yourselves good food to eat and keep loving yourself. Give yourself a hug and be well. Thank you.